Before the events of the monster that was absolute power, Lex Luthor lost his mind. Literally, he ain't Lex Luthor no more. He's just Lex. And in this video, we see him return. Because at the end of the day, his mind can be erased. But he is still a Luthor. Even after all the atrocities he has done, there are still people who care for him. Number one of them was his daughter. She brought him a piano, remembering the stories of how he used to love to play with his mother. And now she wanted to see if he could still do that, which of course he couldn't because he has no memories. In her misguided way, she was trying to help, but she failed to realize that Lex just honestly didn't want to remember. He didn't need to be the smartest man in the world to realize he was hated by everyone. Every single person he has come across, he has wronged. And number one on that list was Superman himself, who is currently fighting to protect his city. Not alone though, he had the Justice League by his side. And honestly, this is where our story truly begins, because in the Watchtower, Mr. Terrific had a problem. After Darkseid's perceived death, he had been trying to solve the riddle where he went, what errors or what new changes the universe will see with his absence, and everything else. But to do that, he had to think a certain way he was not really open to thinking. This is why he called for Superman, because he needed Superman's help. But Superman was surprised. You're Mr. Terrific. You're one of the smartest men in this universe. How can you not solve this? He reveals that basically in his world, in his mind, he just looks at things positively, subconsciously. He is not built to think of things in a dark, psychologically demonic place. And now they need someone with that type of intellect. Bruce was the same way. He was smart, of course, but he was still a hero deep down to his core. They needed someone truly wicked and smart. Superman didn't need to hear anymore. He knew exactly who they needed. They needed Lex Luthor, the man smart enough to stand toe-to-toe with Superman, the man smart enough to become president and a felon at the same time. The only problem was Lex Luthor was gone. Now all that was left was Lex, and Lex was a nice guy. Even Mercy liked this version of him. I mean, she met Lex Luthor, and he was garbage. But he couldn't just help but start to remember glimpses of his past, his childhood. He loved the piano, but his father didn't. His father wanted him to be more practical, while his mother supported his talents, supported his gifts. Every time they fought, he tried to play his piano to drown out the sounds. Back in reality, though, people remembered. He was still Lex Luthor, or rather, he still had the face. They remembered all the chaos he has done. You should be in jail. My brother died because of you. How dare you walk around freely? They were about to mob them when from the sky, the blue boy came through. Superman. His sheer presence alone made everyone start to apologize, like, I'm sorry. Lex, however, didn't see the point of the apology. Nah, it's my fault. I know what I am. And Superman came to see Lex. This was weird. They haven't spoken since he came back. They thought they were avoiding each other. And honestly, that was the truth. They were arch enemies. And now one of them had lost their memory. They weren't supposed to be best friends. Regardless, Superman was here for a reason, and Mercy wanted to know what that reason was. And he let it be known. Lex, we need you back. We need Lex Luthor. And this stunned him. He remembered at that moment a bit of his past again, how his father took him to buy some stuff, and he was always wondering, what do you need this stuff for? Lex was a bright boy. Matter of fact, he was probably smarter than his father, which is why when he revealed he was building a radio to space, his father looked at him, not with joy, but like a monster. The look was so painful, in fact. Lex remembered it to today. And at that moment when Superman asked him that question, he said, no thank you. Superman was shocked. This could save lives. He said again, no thank you, bro. I'm not trying to be that man these people hate. Maybe this is the better version of me. Superman couldn't believe what he was hearing. So Lex said, okay, let me say it in a way you would understand. Is this world better with Lex Luthor in it or not? and that made Superman freeze. Jesus Christ, what am I doing? This guy is my literal archenemy. Why am I trying to bring his evil side back? He apologized and flew away. When you think about it, it was actually ridiculous. Imagine Batman trying to bring the Joker back. Fuck that. This was the right choice. Except that was a literal dagger to Lex's heart. Jesus Christ, was I that bad? He just walked away. Mercy tried to stop him, but there was no point. Memories kept pouring in from his past when he was a child, when he got back home, and his father just started to trash him. He was gifted, but his father couldn't see that. His father called him a monster. Lex couldn't be in this house. He had to run off to the one place where he could be peaceful, in a farm, in the distance, as he turned on his radio and played his lovely songs to the stars. From the distance, in a farm not so far away, a child was crying. This child had been crying for days. His parents were about to take him to a goddamn hospital, but then it stopped because this child was hearing the melodies. No human on earth could hear this. This was Superman. This was baby Superman listening to a song written by a boy that was extremely lonely. Even in the present, he was still lonely. But you see, those flashes of memories had given him a spark he thought he could no longer have. As he went over to the piano, he looked at it and it came flooding back. At that moment, Superman got a call from the watchtower, and it was Mr. Terrific. He thought something happened. We could be there in seconds, but Mr. Terrific said, "Nah, I just wanted to thank you. Whatever you did worked. I got the code from your building. So yeah, thank you, Superman." But Superman did nothing. Lex doesn't remember, or does he? From the distance, in the night sky, they heard the music, a lovely sound, a lovely song. Even Lois was in trance until Superman realized, I know this song. I've heard it somewhere before. As he looked to where the sound was coming from, it was Superman Tower. Oh my God. Oh no. He realized what this meant. It's Lex. Lex Luthor is starting to return.